The equation for centripetal force, F is equal to mv squared over r. So let's think about each one of those things. First, let's talk about r, the radius. Here I've got the setup. My towels were spinning around in a circle. I was trying to keep that distance the same the whole time. And so if I set this up here on the table just like that, and I keep this distance the same as it was when I was swinging it over my head, then I can measure this is the radius. It's from the string, where the string comes out of my pipe, to the center of my towel. In this case, it's almost exactly 50 centimeters. So that's R. For me, it would be 50 centimeters. For you, you'd have to measure your setup. The next thing we want to look at is F. F is the force needed to keep that towel moving in a circle. And it's supplied by the tension in the string, which is supplied by the weight of my baggie. So whatever weight is in your baggie, that's what F is equal to. In my case, I've got a 5 Newton can plus 1 Newton of quarters, so this would be 6 Newtons. But whatever you have hanging in your baggie, that's what F is. The m in the equation, F equals mv squared over r, is the mass of whatever is swinging around. In this case, it's the towel. So you'd get your scale out, and you'd weigh it, and my towels weigh 168 grams. The v squared is the square of the velocity. That's the speed that the towel is swinging around. So I'll show you how to calculate that now.
We want to find v, the velocity or speed of the towels as they swing around in that circle. So think about the definition of speed. It's distance over time. If you're going to go for a jog, and you go out and you jog 3 miles and it takes you a half an hour, you did 3 miles in a half an hour, so you did 6 miles per hour was your speed. So if we know the speed is distance over time, we're going to call it velocity here. There's a slight difference between speed and velocity, but for our cases, we don't need to worry about that here. And we know the radius, in my case here, it was 41 centimeters. That's what I measured when I did this test. And I swung that thing around. I swung those towels around 20 times at 14.3 seconds for those 20 cycles. That's what we timed it at. So from that information, can you pause the video and see if you can find the speed? We're back. Let's find the speed. We're going to use the distance over the time. So we know the radius and we know the distance around that circle is equal to 2 pi r. The distance is the circumference of that circle. And the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So we're going to multiply 2 times 3.14, which is pi, close enough for our case. And we're going to multiply it by the radius in meters, 0.41 meters, not 41 centimeters. And we get 2.57 meters for the distance that the towel swung around that circle. And it took 14.3 seconds to do 20 cycles. So the time it takes to do one cycle is 0.715 seconds. We divide by the number of cycles. And now we can plug those two numbers into our formula for speed or velocity as distance over time. So I plug in 2.57 meters for the distance, 0.715 seconds for time, and I get 3.6 meters per second for my velocity. And then, of course, v squared is just 3.6 times 3.6.